Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming to watch this video. Super excited to show you what I have today. I'm going to make 3 cool things that look exactly like Oreo cookies. First thing you're going to need is some Oreos. You definitely don't need a whole pack, but you're going to need 1 to make your super cool Oreo mold. And maybe for snacking on at the same time. First thing I'm going to show you is how to make this Oreo eraser. Yes, this is an eraser. It is not a cookie, and just look how realistic it looks. I am so happy with how this turned out, and it's so easy to make and super fun. So you need to grab yourself an Oreo, and you're going to take off either the top or the bottom, and of course you can eat the rest of it. So you're going to grab some parchment paper and some clear nail polish. You're going to put the cookie on the parchment paper so that when you cover the nail polish, it doesn't get on your surface. So just coat this extremely well, and feel free to even like pour it on there and just make sure that it's coated really well so that there's no cookie crumbs showing through. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to glue gun this whole thing. So you're going to coat it so that there's absolutely no little black spots showing, and this is going to turn into your mold. So you do want to make sure that you're very generous with the glue and covering up all the spots. Let the glue cool down so that your mold is nice and hard, and then carefully peel it off the paper. It shouldn't be hard at all, but just in case. And then you want to carefully peel the cookie. It should pop right out, but you never know. So here I go, peeling the edges, and you will have yourself an amazing Oreo mold. And you guys can use this with whatever you want. So we're obviously making an eraser, but it works for Play-Doh as well. So I have some eraser clay, which you guys can find at Michael's. I actually got mine at Chapters, and you're just going to soften it up, and obviously you can do whatever color you want for your Oreo. I'm going to do it the black and white, so I'm going to make it actually look like an Oreo, but it's fun to also make them other colors. So you're just going to smush it in there as much as you can, and then try to flatten it out as much as you can, and obviously just making sure that you do press it in really well so it gets in all the little creases of the mold to ensure that your Oreo eraser looks perfect. Okay, and this is where you do really want to be careful. Cookies are obviously hard, but these are soft, so you want to make sure that you're not squishing it or pulling it. And there you go. Look how cool that looks, you guys. I am so happy with how this turned out. It looks exactly, look at it, looks exactly like an Oreo cookie. If you want to make it a little bit more brown, you can probably add a little bit of orange in there, but I'm so happy with this. I'm going to move on and make the other half, and then you'll see that we make the white filling with obviously white eraser. And then you guys will soon have an Oreo eraser. Here's the white filling that I'm going to use, and while I'm doing this, my oven is preheating at 210 degrees Fahrenheit, and once my cookie is done, I'll just put it on a pan, and then you put it in the oven for 30 minutes. When it is done, you take it out and just make sure you let it cool down prior to using it. But it's so simple. Right here, make sure you don't squish your 2 cookies together. You just want to make sure that they are just stuck a little bit, but again, you don't want to smush it because it will change shape. Into the oven, here we go. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to try out this eraser. It has cooled down. It had its 30 minutes in the oven, and let's just see how much this works as a real eraser. And there we go. I'm pretty happy with it. So the stuff that you do buy eraser clay, it actually works very well, and it's so fun to make because you can really make whatever you want. In this case, we obviously made an Oreo cookie, but I would highly recommend trying this stuff out. Now I'm going to show you how to make an Oreo squishy. So squishy, squishy, squishy. This is not a cookie. This is a squishy Oreo. So, super easy, you guys. I went to the store and I bought 2 foam makeup pads, I guess you would say, and they were already circular, so it was super easy to make this. And you're also going to require some black paint and some white and black puffy paint. So what you're going to do is you're going to cover your pads with black paint, and you can probably do this with marker as well, or anything that would, make this black dye or whatever. And just make sure that you guys use a glove if you don't want black fingers, and just make sure that you allow it enough time to dry. So once it is dry, you're going to grab your black puffy paint and you're going to try your best to make the Oreo design on the front. Now because puffy paint is puffy and thick, I found it really hard to sort of fit everything in. So just try your best to make it look like the cookie. I started off with the word Oreo, and then as you can see I went to the outside and then sort of fit in whatever I could. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but try your best and see what happens. This dry, I usually allow about 12 hours, so if you want to do it at night, you can just sleep over it and then wake up and you have a nice squishy Oreo cookie ready for some filling. And very happy with how this is looking so far. It's definitely super cool. It's like puffy and foamy and pretty awesome. So I had a lot of fun putting the filling in, you guys, and you know, you do have to wait again for it to dry, but it's so fun to just squirt this all on there. And you do want to make sure that you don't squirt it all the way to the edge, because when you put the other cookie on top, it will flatten out a bit. But you can still be pretty generous. This stuff isn't too liquidy, right? Like, it does stay pretty hard. I'm just tapping it a bit to get it a little bit more circular to the edges. And once you're happy with the amount of filling you have, you can slap that other cookie on. And then again, you have to be patient. And I, again, waited overnight. Or obviously if it's in the morning, you can wait throughout the day until it's dry. And this, I made sure that it was completely dry because you don't want to squish it and then have white puffy paint squirt out everywhere. You just don't want that. So carefully put it on. You don't really need to squeeze it together, and just make sure you let it dry. Alright, the wait is well worth it once it's all dry. Look how squishy and fun and cool this is, you guys. So if you like Oreo cookies and you like squishy stuff, you definitely need to make this, because this is going to be something that you guys play with a lot. And now I'm going to show you how to make an Oreo notebook. First thing you're going to need is some black paper. I'm using some glitter paper here, which you really don't need, and mine though is also foamy and squishy because I wanted that for my notebook, but it really doesn't matter if you just have black paper, that's totally fine. You're going to make it whatever size you want, so I'm making mine a little bit bigger, but you can make it the size of a cookie. You want to grab yourself a cookie so that you have something to look at while you make this, and of course you can eat the cookie after. So I always start with the word Oreo, and then move out from there, because I'm always worried that I'm not going to be able to fit everything in because this puffy paint is so puffy. So just do your best to do your Oreo design to make it as, you know, close to an Oreo as possible, and then you're gonna let that dry. And I did just do this on the top one because I was worried that if I did it on the bottom when I write my notebook, you might get, you know, sort of like texture or like little bumps. So I just kept the flat one, or sorry, the bottom one flat and just puffy paint free. So you're gonna let this dry, and we're gonna make the inside of the notebook while we wait. So you want to grab yourself some white paper or whatever you have for your notebook, and you can put in as much as you want. So you can make it a thin notebook or a thick notebook, and you know, you can just do whatever you want. That's why this is so much fun. So again, tracing the same shape that you used for your black pieces, and then you're going to cut these out, and we're going to prep it for the notebook part. Okay, so far I'm happy with the amount of paper I have here, and again, you can use as little or as much as you want. So I'm just going to make sure that it all fits, looks good to me, and I'm going to punch a hole in it so that when I clasp it all together, I have a good spot for it. And this also allows for more movement in your notebook, so if you want to sort of slide the pages apart, it you know, doesn't get stuck or anything. I have, and I want to say this is like a braid, but I don't think that's the name for it, one of these little fasteners. If anyone can remember what these are called, please let me know in the comments. I just cannot remember. So I have one of these, and if you don't have one, obviously it's not the end of the world. You could even just use a little string to tie your notebook together, and that would be super cute too. So my top is dry, as you can see, and I'm just going to put all the pages on and then snap the back on, and we have completed our own Oreo cookie notebook. So fun, you guys. that's all my little Oreo creations today. Make sure you guys let me know which one was your favorite, or if you just loved all of them. I actually am quite fond of all of them, so it's hard to pick which one I like the best. So thank you so much. Make sure that you guys subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.